to be an entrepreneur, hire other people in your community, and things that may not be dependent necessarily on your record. Now that record is getting expunged, and I have full hope that they won't be going back. And I think she has like 99.9% where they don't go back into the system, because her program, let's say if it costs 10 to 20,000, it's saving the state and the city about 50 to 40,000.
Right. It's actually saving more. Because the adverse effect is if this person becomes a productive, quote unquote, productive citizen, then they're adding more. And then they're adding opportunities for others that may have been in their position. And they understand it. Hey, you're coming out, you don't have these opportunities allotted to you because of your past. I can now give you the job and opportunity, as well as teach you how to create your own for others.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And and I think, we can't be everywhere. So how can we amplify and multiply our efforts? And so we all have a gift, right? And Tip, he talked about it last night, but like, how can you let that gift that's inside of you out to help other people? And so my gift is being able to, I'm a business guy, but I know how to network and I know how to communicate ideas. And I have lots of life experiences as well, because I go by Doc Fuller, but I have my doctorate, right? But I wasn't always Dr. Fuller. And so I grew up in trailer parks to projects and lots of drama I won't get into, but like I had my family wasn't, on the other side of the tracks. We were on the tracks. And
we started at the tracks.
We started at the tracks and I call it a scratch generation because of all the oppression and things that we know of, right? From redlining to lack of home ownership, of being able to even get a higher education. The two things that allow folks to generate wealth more commonly than most is real estate ownership and having an education. And Blacks and Hispanics have been kept out of that system up until maybe the last 50, 60 years. And so we're all starting from scratch, but what can we do to amplify and share? And so I can't be everywhere, right? And we can't. So collectively, we have to amplify the frequency and wavelength and amplify the message and our purpose. And so it's also the reason why not only do I have the first G-rated financial literacy album that's ever existed, it's the first one that ever existed. I also have the first financial literacy streaming TV app, which is called Jar. It's short for Savings Jar, and it's on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire Stick. So
I need everybody to download that right now. Get it on your Roku TV, get it on your phone, download it on your kids' iPads. And I'm gonna go out. I usually don't just go out and jump out and vouch, but I've seen it in action. I love it. I think that it's something that if you have CoComelon on your kids, you need to have this as well. They need to be able to see things that can help them grow in a different way. I want to ask you this question because you just talked about something great. Some people see you and they might, he's a doctor, he can do that, I can't do that. But you said I started from here. What was the thing that clicked on you, or when was it, if you can remember, that clicked in you that said I need to do something different, and then you started on the up path?
It's interesting you asked that, Reese, because everything that I am today and everything that I learned, I had to do the opposite of what I saw in my household. From my father to my older brothers, right? And just on a personal note, my father had a total of 6 boys and 7 daughters. So 13 kids total, but I was the youngest boy.
Got you.
Sadly, I am now older than 3 of my older brothers, which means 3 of my older brothers are no longer here, right? Wow. And so I think for me, I had to learn how to do the opposite. So I didn't have role models in my neighborhood, in my household, in my family that I can go to. So TV became my role model, right? And I started having to search out role models like Dr. Charles Warner. He was my middle school principal. We still stay in contact. He was the only Black male figure, him and my uncle, Bud, Clarence Jackson. He went by Bud, he passed, but I had about 2 positive figures that I could look to out of all
out of how many?
And so I said, I don't want my kids to grow up like I had to grow up, right? And so that was my motivation.
That's beautiful. Let me hit the hype bell for that.